Anyway, speaking of anti-woke and woke environments, obviously anti-wokeness has taken up an entirely separate tone nowadays as well. Obviously, as we've talked about over and over again on this broadcast, something that I keep repeating to people, which is, what is this? U.S. imposes travel ban on Palestinians? Of course. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. But we have arrived at DEI white supremacy. Okay, DEI white supremacy. Is Sneako woke again? No, he keeps going back and forth. He has like railed against the red pill community on numerous occasions in like the last couple of weeks, but he still went to the New York Young Republicans Club. He's still collaborating with like Nick Fuentes and stuff like that. He's just grifting. I think he's just trying to find his place in this world, as he always has in his journey. And this journey has led him to very, very interesting places. Let's take a look.
What I can't imagine. I don't know what his take is going to be. This is pretty.
I just
predictions.
I don't get it, man. Like those are Nazis. What the fuck?
I'm a Nazi. Is that what you're saying? All right.
What is happening, bro? I mean, they all just hate Jews. No, but like they don't just hate Jews, brother. They hate
Jesus, dude. It's
black people too.
Bro,
like what did not?
Okay, I don't hate black people. Like, look, this idiot. Okay, first off, I'm black.
Well, you should let the video run, Sneako, because I bring that up. Sneako.
Black, you Turk. This guy's black, and like, is anyone hating on him right here? Third, the same people who say that.
Yeah, that's my confusion. Yes, you Turk is so funny. That's like, you're just trying to do like a European style 4chan poll LARP right there. Oh, you Turk. Oh, Turk Roach. That's my favorite thing, because most Americans have no fucking idea why there's any sort of enmity towards Turkish people in general, because the Ottoman Empire didn't really fucking end up presenting a real threat to America, right? That shit was basically pretty much packed up. Like the peak of it was gone by the time America came around. So it wasn't even like that. It wasn't that significant. In the same way that like in Europe, the sick man in Europe, the disease of Ottoman Empire was an ever-present danger for Europeans, which is why they have a lot of hang-ups, which is why there's like a lot of anti-Turk sentiment in Europe as well.
That we hate Jews. Also say that you hate Jews, you fucking idiot. He's trying to be the token anti-Semite. Hey, buddy, the ADL's on your ass too.
The ADL's on my ass more than they're on your ass, dummy.
All day long, this guy talks about like the hostages and talks about his whole thing is being the Palestinian guy, right? Being the Palestinian activist. Who do you think is bombing Palestinians? And then you're going to use the tactic, oh, we hate all Jews. Really? You're going to employ...
Dog, you are a Holocaust denier. What are you talking about? Like, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah, 0 mentions from the ADL on obviously Sneako. For the record, here it is. Of course. Yeah, it's getting to a point where it's like, I'm fake because I don't deny the Holocaust. I'm not a real one.
The same media tactics that they're using against you. Also, how do you talk about what is the actual way? How do these libtards justify talking about Israel and Palestine all day, every day, without also talking about Judaism? They very cleverly.
What does this guy say? Someone said, measure success, 40K versus 27K, free Kai. Like Kai Cenat? There's Kai Cenat fans in here shitting on me. What the fuck's going on?
And, at this point, it's been over 2 years since October 7th. They know what they're doing. They'll say words like, they'll say free Israeli Kai instead of Jew. They'll say Zionist instead of Jew. And they'll be like, look, I'm not like those Nazis over there. They know what they're doing. They just want the cancel culture to go on us. The thing is, Hasan.
Or maybe there's a significant point of difference here. There's a significant disagreement here. Okay. And the significant disagreement is I don't hate Jews, and I don't believe that it is Judaism that is responsible for the domination and settler colonial state of Israel, and that it's simply a defensive mechanism that Zionists have actually implemented quite successfully for a very long time, as a matter of fact. Something that I've talked about quite extensively, something that there's a lot of fucking writing around.
You can't talk about Israel and Palestine without also talking about Judaism.
I talk about Judaism all the time, just not in the way that you want me to talk about Judaism.
Israel does not exist without Judaism. I know you like to say it's all about imperialism and it's all about, the apartheid.
Dude, I love that this is actively like dumbifying the argument. He's like, dude, why are you making complex arguments like imperialism and whatnot? Just talk about the Jews, bro. Talk about the Jews. So stupid. Why don't you just talk about the Jews and call it a fucking day? Awesome. It's like virtually everything I fucking rail against with regular frequency. Part of the reason why I actually criticize people like Sneako and people like Nick Fuentes is because of that.
State, why does it exist? Does Israel want to establish a third temple? Do they want to destroy Al-Aqsa Mosque? What's going on? Why is Netanyahu talking about destroying Rome again? Saying the biggest threat to Jews was Rome. Does he say Israel or does Netanyahu say Jews? You're being very selective, and it's.
This is how all these idiots approach any subject. I know. This is the person. This is one of the this is one of the first victims of like the internet brain rot. Guy who was smarter when he was 13 years old. Sneako and Ethan have the same exact understanding of your arguments, law. I know. One should call that into question. Like, guy who is supposed to be this anti-Zionist talking about religious war. That's exactly what fucking Benjamin Netanyahu says too, dumbass. Why the fuck would you agree with him or adopt his framing on the matter? What have you agreed with Netanyahu on that this is a moment of sincerity from him? Yeah. If someone tells Sneako that it was a Jew that convinced him that it's all for the Jews, he's going to explode. Oh my God. Why are you giving his arguments charity? Does it seem like I'm giving his arguments charity? Do you not understand what I'm saying here? I'm saying that his arguments are giving Benjamin Netanyahu's arguments charity. I'm debunking his arguments. Judaism is a 3,000-year-old religion. Israel's been around, and Zionism has been around for like 100+ years. Okay? Israel's been around for 80. The fuck are we talking about? Okay, 6,000, 5,000, whatever. It's insane. It's insane how narrow people's understanding of certain concepts are.
It's this strategic way so that not only you don't get banned, but also so you could throw people who are actually on the front lines spreading the message that you pretend like you're spreading.
I like that him and Ethan Klein's arguments are identical here, where it's like, come on, we're all actually spreading a message of fuck Jews, right? Come on, dude. Why are you getting mad at me? I don't know, maybe because I disagree with you. Have you ever considered that? Because while someone like Sneako's position on Israel or on any matter of different like domestic issues has shifted dramatically, right? Shifted dramatically, swinging wildly from one position to the next. Mine has remained stable for the last 12 fucking years. How am I the one who's insincere here? I have combated anti-Semitism while maintaining anti-Zionist positions for the last fucking 12 years. You, on the other hand, have swung wildly in either direction before you even knew what the fuck Israel was. I was out there in the trenches. It's so ridiculous. This will double down and not listen. I know.
You just throw them under the bus. Us, me.
I'm not throwing you under any bus, brother. I'm saying that your worldview is wrong, which is something that you personally are recognizing as of late as well. Hopefully it's a sincere recognition and not one that is simply leaning into a different version of the same grift that you've been doing for the past, 5 years now. Anyway, in 30 minutes, we're actually going to move on to something that is much more serious, much more significant. E-Day in Nashville. Erika and I sat down. Here's what happened. The next episode of Candace Owens. Why don't people more left than you pop off? What? I don't know. This is going to get 200K viewers for sure. This will be the big show.
4.5 hours later, I'm alive. I'm totally fine, and I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA Faith, and I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got, and I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel.
I'm willing to bet, Themasius, you're right. I already said this yesterday, but there's going to be people that think she's compromised now, which is why it's my opportunity, our opportunity to strike. Clandestine operators, we will be the one true Highlander, the one true racism final boss, the real Highlander, okay? This is our opportunity to shine, folks. Closed door, non-recorded, one-on-one conversation with the group that you heavily leaned into potentially having a hand or in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. All of a sudden, let's see how she will navigate the discourse. Candace Owens' short video after her meeting with Erika Kirk has been viewed over 22 million times on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Her heavily radicalized audience is very concerned that during the meeting she was threatened, blackmailed, or bribed into silence. To be clear, her audience is radicalized mainly against Jews and Israel. Candace caved everyone. Back to reality. I don't know, man. It's not passing the vibe check. It's a wrap. We just lost her too. They got you. They got to you, didn't they? Now, Candace, because she has no real, in my opinion, has no real convictions at all, will look at this back and forth. We'll look at the statements coming from her audience. This is a real breaking point, okay? This is the grand finale. The grand finale. The reason why I say this is because, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. Candace Owens slowly but surely starts leaning into, Israel killed Charlie Kirk, all this stuff. Charlie Kirk was on the way to just say, fuck Israel. Charlie Kirk was potentially going to become Catholic, all this shit, right? And people who were looking for answers, who already didn't really fuck with Israel, were very excited that someone was saying Israel did this. Now, having said that, okay, as time moved on, as time went along, and she kept leaning into different versions of these conspiracies, some of which are super far-fetched and some of which are ridiculous, and others that were misunderstandings, her popularity grew. The animosity towards Candace grew as well on the right because they were frustrated that she was literally fucking popping off like she's grifting on Charlie Kirk's legacy more than we could, and they were very mad, right? Most of the animosity stemmed from the fact that these guys are all a bunch of fucking charlatan grifters, and they were very offended and upset that Candace was basically using this as an opportunity to boost her profile. And initially she had said that she wasn't going to go after Erika Kirk. Obviously, she was actually very supportive of Erika Kirk in the beginning, talking about how, this is a widow, we should stay off her and she's doing the greatest thing, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then this past week, she was directly hitting Erika Kirk as well. Turning Point USA was supposed to actually do a town hall. They invited Candace to the town hall. She said no, she can't make it to the town hall. And that town hall was supposed to take place yesterday. Erika Kirk, after doing a town hall with Barry Weiss on CBS News, turned around and said, instead of doing a Turning Point USA town hall about the conspiracy surrounding Charlie Kirk's death, I will have a private conversation with Candace Owens. She basically fucking cut out the middleman, because this was supposed to address a lot of Candace's audience. But instead of doing that, Erika Kirk decided, I'm just going to talk to Candace Owens directly. And a private meeting took place yesterday. We shall see what the impact of that private meeting looked like, because I think a lot of our audience that is primed for maximum conspiracy are probably going to turn on Candace Owens. And Candace Owens, being a grifter, is either going to lean into the conspiracies and start daggering Erika Kirk instantly after this private meeting, or she's going to lay off. If she lays off, I think some in our audience will go along with it. Others will seek out someone else that will deliver the maximalist positions. So we shall see. Benjamin Netanyahu now says that if it had not been for the Jews, USA would not exist. We brought you into this world. We can take you out. No, he didn't say that. He probably said some other shit that's being misconstrued. That sounds even too far-fetched for fucking Benjamin Netanyahu, who is a incredibly, he is an insane person and insanely arrogant. I'm sure he said something along those lines, and people are kind of misconstruing it a little bit.
Today, the battle that the Maccabees fought. They fought for the survival of the Jewish people and the Jewish faith against an enemy that wanted to extinguish us, wipe us out from the face of the earth. We were fighting our battle, but we were also fighting the battle of civilization, because our civilization is based on the Judeo-Christian tradition. And if the Maccabees had failed, there'd be no Judaism, there would be no Judeo-Christian civilization. There would be no Maccabees. There would be no United States, there wouldn't be the civilization.
Yeah, I told you. He's not saying like literally that like Jews built America or some shit, okay? He's just trying to awkwardly tie everything back to like the Judaism to Christianity pipeline to from Judaism came Christianity, and from Christianity came like Judeo-Christian nation building, which is fucking, a made up term anyway. He's just saying that it's the logical oh my God. Okay. My dad is burning the kitchen. Okay.
Civilization of freedom, the respect for our common traditions, our common values, all of that would not happen if it weren't for those 5 brave brothers. They actually made the whole difference. So that spirit animates these brave soldiers that are here today and their comrades who are fighting in Gaza or in Lebanon or in Iran, wherever is necessary to not only preserve the Jewish nation and the Jewish state, but preserve civilization against the barbarians. The barbarians are out there. They did.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically saying like, oh, if you get ahead of the Jews trying to preserve Western civilization will fall apart. That's all this is.
Did a horrible thing to us on October 7th. They'll never do it again.
It's the classic. It's the classic. Like Israel is the first line of defense against the barbaric hordes of Islam knocking at your gates.
Against Jews in Sydney and Jews elsewhere in America and elsewhere. This is our common battle against the barbarians.
Yeah.
We have won it here. We're winning it here. We'll win it everywhere. Chag Sameach, Chag Chanukah Sameach Likulchem.
Yeah, this is not anything new. He's not saying like, we brought you into this world, we can take you out, that type of shit. I've literally called out exactly what he was going to say before he even said it, because I've heard it a million times over.
Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody back at home. Happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and allies. And this is a good time to mention that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler, and TikTok does need to be purchased by the Mossad. It's just how I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candace.
Oh my.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us.
I know she's fucking joking.
She's doing something
I'm
else.
just
I can't
shocked
believe
at
it. This has all
how
just been a
aggressively
show. Calm
she is
down,
joking.
okay? What do you think happened? Erika said,
the joke
stop,
is that, like,
and then I was
it's
frozen.
the Jews. The joke is
For 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like, as they just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable.
crazy. This is
I am basically akin to Kanye West. I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is me. That tweet right there, I was like, oh gosh, yes, Kanye, that I get this. Okay. Nobody is changing their mind anything. How ridiculous would it have been if I'm doing all of this, investigating, asking all of these questions, and then Erika Kirk offers to answer some of these questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. I can't betray the people. I don't want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them. No, this is the entire reason we are doing this. We've been looking at the situation going, why can't Turning Point USA just answer basic questions? And I can tell you guys that yesterday, for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there
good deal of time defending why she took this private meeting and not on camera. A good question would be, why wouldn't you do that on camera, Candace?
And some of you guys are thinking, who is they? Who is they? It's the Jews, obviously. Just kidding. It's Justin Strife. Justin Strife was in the room. It was just Justin Strife and Erika. George joined me just for the beginning portion of the conversation because he had that thing going on that I told you on the 15th all day. He was in a conference. And then I brought my cousin Mia, the one that has a really bad attitude. I just bring her there for vibes. I think it just confuses people. They're like, I don't understand what's this person doing here. And the reality is she's like always just listening to Cardi B music. But she's my cousin and I always have her around. And so that was it. She was kind of sitting a little bit away, but at the table, it was really just the four of us until George left. And I will be honest, I did not know what to expect going into the room. I did not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what Erika's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats. You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. It was a lot. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation started with Justin Strife very sensibly saying, what are we looking to accomplish here? Like, what is the actual aim of this conversation? And he was pretty clear, and Erika was very clear, that they were sort of most upset with obviously a bit of a fever pitch, when I tweeted that it was a God-forsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And I don't know, I felt like we weren't getting any answers and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly.
And her audience is not going to like it. She's caving.
I really
Will
felt
she be able to save
like
this walk
telling
back?
The truth from the very beginning,
bro. I'm telling you, they're going to think
put into place. And
there is a little bit of sincerity in their commentary here when they say it's all about the money. It's true. Erika Kirk only cares about the funding for Turning Point USA, and Candace Owens only cares about the drama. So I can totally see them coming to a reasonable conclusion here, where she's like, "You can keep daggering us all day, just don't disrupt the money."
That one of the first things that Erika did was she owned the lies, or rather, I guess they would cage it as miscommunications that were coming from various people at the company. Like, look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. everybody at this time is exceedingly emotional, and they are communicating. And no matter what somebody says on Twitter, they assume that this communication has come down from management, and that's not always a circumstance. But they owned right away, which felt great, that if you guys recall, Erika sat down with Glenn Beck. I actually missed this portion because I didn't get to watch the interview in its entirety, and we were pulling clips because a lot was coming out very quickly. But there was a portion that was going around that was viral, and it was Erika saying that she had Charlie's phone. And
Chat's saying she's compromised. I'm saying she's compromised. She's compromised. She's compromised. She's compromised.
Saying that he thought that they were going to kill him, and that obviously reflected poorly on me because I was the one who said that he did, in fact, text multiple people the night before. And then I went on Jimmy Dore on Friday, Jimmy Dore's show, and I clarified. I said, Andrew Colvett told me specifically that he was one of the people that received this text message. So I got that first person.
Why
I didn't
you
get
do
that from a source. I got that directly from Andrew
Why
Colvett.
didn't you do
and
it
then somebody who had access to
on
Dan Flood's
camera
communications
for
said
your
that Dan Flood
own
similarly received a text
safety?
message. They owned that right away
And
and explained.
for us
Erika
to
said
know
that she has
the
Charlie's phone. She's
truth.
looking at his iMessages, and it turns out that he, like everybody else, communicates on Signal. He communicates on Telegram, and that those when she heard me say that, they then went and looked, and yes, that what I said was true. Andrew Colvett received a message the night before, and Dan Flood received a message the night before. Now, they asked me if I had actually like a concrete a copy of what Dan Flood got the night before, and I said no. If somebody told me what it said,
Cope. I know you won't fold.
Almost exactly what Andrew said, which is they're going to kill me. Andrew did not know who they were, that he was referring to were, but they clarified that the message that Dan Flood received said the left is going to kill me. So I can't confirm that one way or the other. I have to trust them on that because I did not see that concrete message. I was told that it said they. I was sort of like, hey, I felt name checked by the podcaster, Candace Owens, this obvious setup, and then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear Erika say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things. And
oh, God.
that
Okay. This is,
I
I'm
think
telling
she similarly
you.
felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment. Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss is. It's the Zionist lobby.
Oh, come on.
She's
Come on.
trying
She
to right
cooked you.
perceived wrongs
She cooked
because
you.
I'm
You're
against her
selling
side.
out.
That does not surprise me. That's kind of
What's
why
up
Barry
next?
Weiss exists.
Barry
It's
Weiss
the reason
Town
we
Hall
put her
with
at
Candace
CBS
Owens.
is
Come
because
on
she's just
now.
committed to stacking the audience with people that are going to present the pro-Israel cause and talk about anti-Semitism and talk about like crime being on the rise. It's kind of an embarrassment, but I actually do accept that. And I should also clarify that Barry Weiss obviously picked those questions. They were not random, like I told you. It wasn't like people were coming to the mic and it was an open mic and they didn't know what they were going to get. It was all very much planned by Barry, but Erika said that she knew the general idea.
Wait, how do you do a
like,
donation? I'm going to do a donation. Fuck it.
And mention the conspiracies, but she was not given that specific, the podcaster, Candace Owens, question. So I think that's fair to clear that up. Now, I did not at all recant any of my suspicions, and I understand people disagree with me about particular people at Turning Point USA.
Why wasn't the
I
interview
communicated what I communicated in front of the whole world.
on camera?
My skin crawled after I spoke to Terrell Farnsworth,
For
the
your
person who took the cameras down.
safety
He lied to me several
and
times. I
for
explained
our
to them, which felt good to have that direct
pursuit
communication, how Terrell lied multiple times.
of truth.
And that I did not understand why he was there that day. They echoed what he said. They defended what he said, that they were trying something new that day, that they typically live stream, which is what Terrell said. They typically live stream, and I said every college event. Well, they said, well, yeah, they live stream the events that are tour stops, but they don't live stream like the outside prove me wrong type events. And that was something that was new, and it required Terrell. And I said, even if that was all real, if that was all true, I still didn't feel good about the conversation that I had with Terrell, and I can't ignore my gut about the many little lies that he told. I thought the video he recorded was weird. I know he comes from a very powerful family. I personally do not trust him. And
Answer him, Candace.
Obviously do not like the fact that I said, Tyler Boyer lied about this thing and came up with an excuse and said, well, Terrell was asked to take the camera down. That's the reason, he said on Twitter.
That's it. We paced a hole in our floors and chewed our fingernails off for that. Come on, girl. 4.5 hours and that's all we get. Where's the beef? Still love you, but come on. I feel like I'm being strung along to keep numbers up. You mean that after Charlie died, Angel Cole never once told Erika? Well, that was weird. Has anyone explained how Erika's in possession of Charlie's phone during an ongoing investigation? What about asking why Mickey got on the phone without even dialing a number, then walked away casually before Charlie even hit the ground? Are you seriously going to glaze over that? Have you even considered that perhaps he has two phones? What on earth was that? What did Erika say about being followed by planes? A lie can run on for a while, but the truth owns the finish line because it never has to change direction. I wouldn't trust the call logs from them. How can Candace believe call logs they probably made up? She just simply said, okay, cool, clarified. It's all a psyop. They are all part of the club. Well, I heard nothing there that would change my mind about Erika Kirk. She's a fraud with a very murky past. Both sides of this are now fake and gay. No need to apologize for calling TPUSA a godforsaken organization for alleging that the leadership of TPUSA betrayed Charlie Kirk. They are, and they did. I think I just realized that we, the people, will never be allowed to know now. I felt like she was backpedaling. We learned nothing, absolutely nothing. Her husband was assassinated on live TV. FBI somehow is allowed to keep her phone. 4.5 hours of Erika Kirk, and this is all Candace has to say. So anticlimactic. We will never be told the truth about anything ever. What a joke. See? I told you. This is going to be the prevailing narrative where people did not get what they were looking for from this conversation. While Will Sommer says Erika Kirk's meeting with Candace Owens is starting to look like a disaster, Candace Owens is still criticizing specific TPUSA staffers and now says they couldn't convince her Tyler Robinson was a gunman. I don't think that is the... I think that the audience demanded a lot more. You can't promise a bombshell and deliver a nothing burger. Yeah. Donald Trump came out with this new statement about Venezuela. You know, times are tough. Have to get into it. Have to bomb Venezuela again, you know, but in an America first style way. Okay. Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. It will only get bigger, and the shock to them will be like nothing they've ever seen before until such time as they return to the United States of America all of the oil, land, and other assets they previously stole from us. Venezuela has stolen American oil that belongs to the United States of America, chat. It just happens to be on Venezuelan soil, but it's our oil now, our land now. The illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields to finance themselves, drug terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping for the theft of our assets and many of other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, human trafficking, just fucking repeating it again. The Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization. Therefore, today, I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that the Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminals, terrorists, or other countries to rob, threaten, or harm our nation, and likewise will not allow a hostile regime to take our oil, land, or any other assets, all of which must be returned to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Based.
Just breaking right now across the wires, President Trump is ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela, saying that the armada around Venezuela will only get bigger, and that the Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization. Crossing on all the wires coming from...
Bro, I swear to God, every day there's a new issue with like the jobs numbers, like unemployment numbers. Or every day they're like, oh, sorry, we fucked up the GDP numbers. We can't like release. We can't release the new jobs numbers. We can't release this. We can't release that. Don't worry about it. And then every day people are just like, the fuck's going on? Everything is expensive. You might be a pedophile aligned with Jeffrey Epstein. And he goes, wait, hold on. I'll bomb Venezuela. I'll bomb Venezuela. What do you want from me? I'll bomb Venezuela. Mass shooting takes place in a fucking Ivy League institution, Brown University. FBI thinks they got a guy, realizes maybe that's not the guy, or they don't have enough evidence to hold him. And then they go, what do we do? Oh, is there a lot of discontent around the incompetence of the FBI, partially because they fucking hired Kash Patel, a fucking podcaster and a Trump dick rider, to lead the FBI? I'll bomb Venezuela. Is this going to work? Man, Dems falling in line after 9/11 to sign all this bullshit terrorism stuff sure didn't have any consequences. People said it would happen all the time. Thank goodness. Yeah, exactly. Jobs numbers are great. U.S. November jobless rate hits 4.6%, highest since 2021. Yeah, also, this is the tip of the iceberg in terms of unemployment, because we have a consistent underemployment problem in this country with people basically moving in the direction of the gig economy, where the only available jobs are being a serf. Yeah. And then you have the Jeffrey Epstein files deadline coming on Friday. Donald Trump is doing a statement tomorrow. I suspect it'll be on this. If you factor underemployment and permanently out of work under 65, non-disabled is over 25%. Yes. There's never been a bigger disconnect between the ruling class and the American people than today. The ruling class is treating the entire Western Hemisphere as his backyard, whereas the average American can barely keep a home. The average American can barely put a roof over their own heads and pay rent.
Trump administration and the president himself, a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers into Venezuela. As we look at some of those drug boat takeouts, that's a significant move around the country of Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean, Brett, it's incredibly disturbing. I think this is why you're seeing members of Congress on both sides of the aisle coming forward and saying, you know, we need to understand a little bit more about what the posture is and what the reasoning and rationale is. It's one of the reasons why we have, checks and balances in this country, and why the legislative branch is so involved when there is a decision to go to potentially invade or, even potentially go to war with another country. So lots of questions here. I think that President Trump, I know he's speaking to the country tomorrow night, addressing the nation. I think it's very important that he be transparent with the American people as to why he's doing this. And, I think a lot of people are asking questions. Are we going to actually go into war with Venezuela? More questions here than we have answers.
Yeah, Ari, the president is saying, and maybe tomorrow night in his primetime address, which you'll see here on Fox, he's going to get into this, some of the specifics. It's not that we don't hear from this president a lot. We hear from him a lot on a lot of moves, but tonight he's saying this blockade, I mean, it's a significant move.
President Trump's chief of staff is speaking out about the administration in a series of interviews with Vanity Fair. Susie Wiles says Trump has a, quote, alcoholic personality and will go for it whenever he sees an opportunity for retribution. She also calls Vice President Vance a conspiracy theorist for a decade and says Attorney General Pam Bondi whiffed on the Epstein files controversy. Now Wiles is calling the article a disingenuously framed hit piece. White House correspondent Karen.
Yeah, bro, she fucking daggered everybody in the admin in this, okay? Also, she got the Erika Kirky eyes. I don't know what's up with that.
Travers is here for more on that. Hi, Karen. So Wiles is taking issue with this article, but she's not denying the specific quotes, and some of them are pretty eye-opening. So how is she explaining some of these statements?
Yeah, and this was a series of interviews that she did with Vanity Fair's Chris Whipple over many months. 11 interviews, he said, that he put together in these two pieces. In her statement posted on social media, Susie Wiles says this is a disingenuously framed hit piece on me, the president, the White House staff, and the cabinet. But she also says that this was done to paint an overwhelmingly chaotic and negative narrative about the president and our team. But Diane, this piece has Washington talking because there are some incredible headlines in here. She talks about the president's retribution campaign, saying that when there's an opportunity, he will go for it, but that there was a loose agreement that the score settling would end before the first 90 days of his term were over. She talked about Elon Musk, who came in and was put in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency. She said that he was an odd duck whose actions were not always rational and sometimes left her aghast. She talked about J.D. Vance, who at one point was very anti-Trump and then, of course, is now part of the MAGA fold, and she said that that conversion was sort of political. She talked about the tariffs that the president put in place and said that there was a huge disagreement about this major policy decision of the president's, saying that this was a conversation and disagreement about whether they were a good idea. And on the president's current strategy in the Caribbean against Venezuela, she says that that strategy is to keep blowing up boats until Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, says uncle. Diane?
And Wiles also revealed President Trump is...
I love pearl crushing Republicans acting like this will do shit but isolate them and make libs pat them on the back. I don't even understand what the fuck she was thinking. I guess like these guys, they just get very excited at any mainstream media appeal still. They like think that mainstream media will do them any favors. But I mean, look at these fucking shots, dude. Vanity Fair cooked them so hard. That is crazy, brother. That is an insane photo shoot. I mean, this is really fucked up. The filler injection sites, like you can see it. I feel like they specifically made Marco Rubio's ear a part of the photo. Look at this photo. Oh, I saw this already. Listen, look, I'm not as committed to Dr. Umar as I used to be in the past as an acolyte, as a defender. But this is the closest I've arrived to Snow Bunny mind control, like being a real thing. Okay? And you can't show me this. This is literally Snow Bunny mind control, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking joking? She's like, oh yeah, I love my white jeans. I'm not gonna back down from loving white jeans. Oh, people are saying I'm a white supremacist. I just love jeans. The whiter they are, the better they are. And then boom, comes out, titties on deck. Get the fuck out of here. Click away. Click away. Look away. I'm smarter than that. Susie Wiles told the New York Times she didn't call Elon Musk an avowed ketamine addict in one of her 11 interviews with Vanity Fair. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't have said it, and I wouldn't know. Vanity Fair, cool. Here's a recording of you saying that. Oh my God. They fucking... Oh, it's on tape. That's crazy. Candace is live on Insta. Please look at it. Oh no. Is she doing damage control? Oh my gosh. She is literally live on Insta. What the fuck?
During that sit down, but just to make sure that you guys don't feel like I'm
Bro, even
not
on
telling
IG,
you
she's got
something.
30K.
Ask me whatever it is that you want to ask me right now about the sit down that happened. Like there was no secrets. There was nothing that I'm keeping from you. In many ways, there's a lot that I still need to process. Like I was just trying to give you guys like the high notes today. There's a lot that I need to process. There's a lot of interdynamics or whatever, like I explained to you today, things that like didn't make sense to me, but I mean, what am I going to do with this information other than put it out there? So I will let you guys ask me anything. Did Charlie want to divorce Erika? That I saw, there's like some account, I guess, that trolls on X and they put things out and they're like, Candace said
Wait, why
this.
don't I have a blue check mark on
made
Instagram?
that claim. I never heard that claim. I never came across that. And the person that said that came from me actually and completely made that up. So that did not come from me. Really, what is your take on Erika? Is she covering up or really
Washed?
Does she not know? So what I always say is like, you can clock a lie, right? So let's start with that. I did just a couple of days ago when I said I was on Jimmy Dore's show and I was like 100% Charlie had these messages, okay? To assign the motivation for why, if that was a lie and that she didn't own it face to face or whatever, to assign a motivation to that is there could be 1,000 things. Are you scared the company's going to go under? Are you trying to protect and make the Jewish donors happy? Like that is definitely I thought it was a very weird choice for her to do Barry. I did. I just was like, why would you do Barry Weiss? Kind of the PR must know what the vibe is right now of how people are feeling about Israel.
Hasan, stop tapping the
we
fucking
all
glass.
kind of feel
No
like Israel has
shot.
something to do with it. I mean, I definitely